I love the show. I love you guys. Fucking, let's go Jets. Jets, 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 Jets.
No, I'm beating you with my mind. And I can still dominate, I think.
Dane, you're a legend, bro.
What's up? What's up? How's it going, Mike?
Good. Dano, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yeah, sorry guys. We are starting a little late today, but dude, I have not what's the word you know what? I haven't looked forward to this exact session. So I don't know. I can't say that it was delayed because of me, but let me just say, like, we were going to do this yesterday, right? And you had some personal stuff going on. Today, I had some personal stuff going on. Let's just say, like, I wasn't mad. But,
Yeah, I
you
hear
know,
you.
since we started doing this, what do we like? We did it, we started after San Francisco, right? Um,
Yeah.
so since we started this, we haven't really lost again. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Dude, before we get into the film, what did you think of Sunday's performance?
Oh man, Sunday's performance. We're gonna get into it in terms of the film, but dude, Sunday's performance was just a complete joke, man. Especially from the coaching staff. We 100% lost that game due to the fact that our coaching staff was just completely inept from top to bottom in that game, which we're gonna highlight throughout the tape. But if you're wondering, kind of just to preface
Yeah,
this video. If you're wondering why my background is black, it's because I'm actually out of the country. I'm in the Philippines, so that's
dude,
why
look at
it's
that view.
nighttime here. It's
Dude,
it's
that
mid.
picture window is nice, man. Hell yeah.
Yeah. Oh, during the day it's beautiful. It's like it's right on the ocean too. So, but obviously it's nighttime here. It's midnight here. So it's a 12-hour difference for Eastern time zone. But yeah, so I just wanted to mention to everyone that I'm on the opposite side of the world here. But yeah, when it comes to this game, Dano, it's like coaching staff completely failed us, man. Hopefully we can overcome those deficiencies going forward, especially with, as you know, the news that there might be help coming along the way. But
Yes.
I'm not excited about going over the film in terms of us having so many good plays, because there really aren't many good plays. In fact, this is going to be one of the shorter film sessions, just because there just wasn't much to show in this game. It's like we just got our freaking butts kicked.
I mean, you could
royally.
show
So,
this. You could. I mean, I think you're right, and like not a lot of variety. You could show the
right,
same things though 10 times. I'm sure.
right,
Um,
yeah.
and
The
that's the
thing.
thing. Well, I was just gonna say I saw a few breakdowns, dude, and like
Mhm.
embarrassing, man. Even like I mean, some of the O linemen. I think I saw Joe Blewett breaking down. Horrible,
Yeah,
horrible. Some Brees runs, horrible, horrible. And we'll get into all of that, but it's just it's really it's a shame because like Aaron, Bob, whoever you want to say, like can say, oh, don't keep the faith, just believe,
right,
blah blah blah.
right.
But dude, like the way you performed on Thursday Night Football,
Hmm.
10 days off, and like of course we're believing huge that then, and then you lay
Hmm.
that stinker and like you
Right.
perform that bad. And the
That's a
funny
joke,
thing
man.
is, dude, I knew in that fourth quarter, well, for one, Greg makes those two field goals that I honestly thought he missed. They look like garbage.
Hmm.
So I just knew. I'm like, the only way this could get worse is if we have another chance to win, and we did. And yeah, it was just like as high as you made us the week before, you made us the polar opposite low, and that's just it. Did it's just stop telling
Yeah,
me to
man.
believe because you're making it very difficult, very difficult.
100%. And this coaching staff, man, is like, especially when Robert Saleh came out after the game. I forgot what exactly it was. Um, but he came out. I think it was his presser right after the game, talking about the weather. It's like, dude, why are you making excuses about rain? You're playing against a team that also has to deal with the same elements. So don't give me the bull crap saying that your game plan didn't work out because of the rain. And that actually opens up a whole nother um, you know basically rabbit hole here. It opens up Pandora's box, where it's like, why are we if we're not able to go with our initial game plan, it's like everything falls apart. The coaching staff just throws up their hands and just gives up. Like we can't even make adjustments during mid. We didn't make any adjustments at all during the 49ers game. During the Titans game, it seemed like it took us forever to make adjustments. Then finally against the Patriots, it looked like we finally corrected those deficiencies, and then we're right back at it again with the Broncos. It's like as soon as one little thing derails us, it's like the coaching staff just throws up their hands and just gives up. And we're going to get into it with the tape, but it's not a good look. It really isn't.
Dude. And I don't know, man. Like I know for one, I do. There's one thing I do believe in, and I said like you're making it hard for me to believe. I believe that we'll be great in December. Okay,
Yeah.
and maybe I shouldn't, but I do, and I believe we'll be great in November. What's getting way hard to believe is that um, we can adapt on the fly. Like that's like you just said,
Right.
like you can't just we'll work on it Tuesday, Monday through Saturday, and we'll get it right. There's going to be times where we don't have that. We have to fix it on the dot in real
Right.
time. And I mean, everybody's saying the same thing when they watch this tape, but like it's just it's something you got to look at. And I hope the Jets, like I'm sure they break it down in like separate rooms, but this tape, I
Mhm.
hope that they were all in the same room and went through it play by play, because some of these individual
Mhm.
characters that we're going to get into, they should be embarrassed, man. They should. Um, without further ado, man, if you want to send over the first thing, we can get started here.
I'll go ahead and share my
Thanks,
the
sir.
screen. The first one that's going to come up, the first clips, and again, this film review was just so redundant in terms of just it felt like I was watching the same play over and over again on offense and defense. So basically, there's only about 10 plays here in total. So we'll get through the defense real quick here. Couple of decent things that actually happened in the defense that I want to talk about, but man, it's like there's just so many things that need to be corrected on both sides of the ball, and I really hope it gets corrected really, really soon. You are you ready to start, Dano?
I am ready when you are, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, so we're gonna go. Like I said, we're gonna go ahead and focus on the defense here. One thing that I want to kind of focus on is the fact that, remember our first few weeks of the season, it seemed like those gaps were just completely, the gaps in the defensive line were just terrible, man.
The spacing was way too wide. Yeah.
The spacing was just way too wide. The linebackers were like 5 to 7 yards off the ball when we were, when the 49ers were running the ball down our throats, which is what you cannot do. It seems like now that is kind of getting fixed. But one other thing that I want to mention is the fact that Sauce Gardner is not shadowing the number one receiver on the opposing team. And that really did bite us this game. It really, for sure it really did. But on this play here, I want to kind of give a shout out to DJ Reed in terms of his coverage ability, and he's going to be on the bottom of the screen here. So let's go ahead and we're going to take a look at him, see what he does. He's going to be facing up against Courtland Sutton on the bottom of the screen here. So he does a pretty good job there. The only thing is at the very end, right, of this play, he is like a half a step off, and Courtland Sutton is a bigger receiver, so it looks like he's further away from Reed than he really is. But the reason why I wanted to highlight this is as much as DJ Reed has been stellar, he's one of the highest grade PFF scorers in the NFL right now. This scheme look right here, I don't like it at all. You have Sauce Gardner here covering this guy one-on-one, and then you have Carter here kind of assisting or kind of taking the flat out in zone coverage. And then you got Tony Adams here, and it's like, if I have Courtland Sutton, which is the number one receiver on the Broncos, right? He's really the only threat in reality. Right. He's more of like a number two receiver on most teams in the NFL, but since it's the Broncos, he's the number one receiver. Now, this is like so simple. Even like high school schemes and especially college schemes, they always want to eliminate the opposing team's best player, and they actually call it cheating to one side, right? So Tony Adams right here is out of position. He should not be. I don't know if this is like him doing this or if it was the coaches, but the fact that he is favoring this side over here, cheating to this side, tells me that this was just not a good look for the safety here. He should really be over more on this side, helping out just in case the deep ball happened, which obviously did, helping out with Reed. Because look how long it took him. Like, he's not even in the picture. You know what I mean? Like, he's not even there. Like, not even close. He's like 10 or 15 yards away from DJ Reed. So if DJ Reed, if he wasn't as good as he is, then that would have been a touchdown all day, and a little bit better by Bo Nix. That would have been a touchdown all day. So going forward, I want to see more help from the safeties. Favoring DJ Reed. DJ Reed is not really the best cover corner downfield, right? Meaning those burners, those guys that are in the 4.3 speed range, like those are the guys that are going to be able to do a lot of damage against DJ Reed screaming down that sideline. So going forward, if we're facing guys like a Justin like next week on Sunday, if we have DJ Reed on Justin Jefferson, I might lose my crap. Like I'm going to lose my mind if I see Justin Jefferson with DJ Reed, man. It's going to be,
well,
it's
and
going
I
to be
think
crazy.
you were getting into that too. Like, for one, great coverage by Reed, and he actually performed very well in this game. The only other thing I would add is, if that's Patrick Mahomes, if that's Lamar Jackson, we may not win that play. If it's a better ball. Right. And that's the thing I like to think about is, like, maybe Bo Nix doesn't complete that pass, but you can't tell me no one would.
Right. Yeah, man, 100%. And I'm not saying that it's going to happen, but if we don't, it seems like it's a common theme with DJ Reed where it's like those double moves, are really doing a lot of damage on him. Now, Cortland Sutton, he was able to kind of stick with him most of the way. But if it was like an Xavier Worthy or, or like a Tyreek Hill or Jalen Waddle, he's going to need help, or Justin Jefferson. So we'll see what happens. But this next play here, Dano, is really exciting from DJ Reed, and he's going to be here on the top of your screen. And let's take a look at what he does here. So he made a fantastic play there. He was able to get her on that blocker and really make a tackle. And he was actually allegedly hurt, I guess, throughout the week with an ankle injury. And it doesn't look like he's that injured, to be honest. He's moving around really well, and he was able to shed that block and get that tackle. So he did a great job this game in particular. So I'm really happy that DJ Reed is stepping up and being able to be again that top 2 cornerback for us.
Facts, man. Facts. And that's the thing. We got a lot of individual pieces. Some playing outstanding, some not, but should be able to at some point. Just finding all of our pieces to work together at the same time. I think that's why a lot of us are positive, But yeah, hell of a play on that one in the backfield, man.
Yeah, man. It was definitely nice to see. So this next play, Dano, is a really good one that I wanted to highlight as well. Again, this, even though as bad as this game was, we did only allow the Broncos 10 points. And if you're only allowing 10 points against a team in the NFL, like you should win the football game, But obviously our offense crapped the bed here. But CJ Mosley went out. I think it was week 2 he went out, and it almost seemed like we haven't really lost a step in our defense, in particular along our linebacking core. And this play right here, man, I want to give a huge shout out to Chaz Surratt and Jamie and Sherwood, but Surratt in particular, man. Like these young linebackers are just really being able to step up in CJ Mosley's place and be able to make plays. So right here, we're gonna see Chaz Surratt. This is a running play right here, and the one thing that we notice here, Dano, is that from weeks prior, those linebackers were not attacking those gaps and they weren't being aggressive. But it seemed like as soon as that ball was snapped, it looked like Chaz Surratt was ready to go in and make this tackle here on the running back, which is huge. So we didn't allow many yards at all, on the ground and especially in the air. I think Bo Nix only had 60 yards throughout the entirety of the game. And so, the defense did a decent job this past Sunday, man. So I don't want to harp too much on them. But again, I just wanted to give a huge shout out to Surratt.
Most of that 60, I would say, came on one drive too. So, they didn't bend, they didn't break, and then that one drive. So if we hold the ball a little longer, does that happen on offense? If we have a little bit more of a lead? So it's nice to see we can shut down who we should for the most part,
right?
So
100%. So this is actually going to be the last play on defense here, and this is going to be the Cortland Sutton touchdown. This play right here, if you're a Jets fan, this play right here is really going to piss you off, especially if you've seen it live. But I want to be able to kind of go over step by step of why this was such a bad defensive play. So, like I said earlier about Cortland Sutton being the number one guy on the Broncos, it's like if you take a look at Sauce Gardner here on the top of the screen, he's covering a tight end here in Dulcich, right? And you have Cortland Sutton right here in the slot. So the main guy that you want to worry about is Cortland Sutton, of course. That's your number one priority, is worrying about him, right? And the second one is obviously Bo Nix using his legs. So what I'm guessing here is that they had a spy on Bo Nix just in case, just in case he ran. So here's going to be the spy right here. But take a look at Cortland Sutton, right? Cortland Sutton just runs right by everybody and goes right into the end zone. And it's
man.
it's so bad, dude. Like,
Just play that
I
back.
thought it was going to be bad. Yeah, I'm going to play the whole thing.
But we had bunches left, and I've heard a few people talk on this play specifically. It's like, do you just play zone on it? Does it happen if CJ Mosley is in the game? So many what ifs, but how does that happen, man? Is that Sherwood? You think that needs to
this is
leak?
This is 100%. This is 100%. The more I look at this play, the more it tells me that we were actually in man coverage. Because if you take a look at Sauce Gardner, look at Sauce Gardner, what he does with Dulcich. He is following his man the entire way, all the way across the field.
Yeah.
So we were not, or at least Sauce wasn't in man coverage. And so, but that tells me that if Sauce is in man coverage, then the other cornerback should be in man coverage as well.
So which man is lost in the shuffle? Which corner?
It's hard to say 100%, but if I had to be a betting man, I would say that it was DJ Reed's guy, and I'm almost positive that DJ Reed should have been the one covering him. Now I don't know that for certain. Maybe DJ Reed kind of like picked up on it and was abandoning, his, especially if he's playing zone. But this just tells me that it was a miscommunication. And if it wasn't a miscommunication, it was indeed man coverage, and Reed is this far off from Cortland Sutton that we have major problems. But Sauce should have been covering him all day. It's in the red zone, man. They're near the goal line. Why is Sauce not covering Cortland Sutton? Like this needs to end, man. Like, I'm sick and tired of every single week Sauce Gardner is not covering the number one receiver. It needs to happen. Like, I'm so sick of this.
We were up 6 here too, weren't we? I think it was 9-3.
Yeah, we were. Yeah. Yep, we were. Yes. Yep. Exactly. And then they put up 7 points, and that was it for for them scoring, and we weren't able to come back. So that's it for the defense, Dano. If you want, I'm going to pull up the offense now.
Facts. Yeah.
But did you want to add anything or
no? I'm just like,
particular?
Well, dude, I think I saw a lot of fans last week that, Sherwood should be our new starting linebacker. I have a hard time believing that there's a communication breakdown. Now, even if it wasn't the linebacker that got burnt, I just have a sneaky suspicion that may not happen with Mosley in the game in that scenario. So, I mean, regardless of I'm just saying, like, don't overlook the value of having a captain with a brain like that on the field. And Sherwood's a little faster. He's a little more athletic. We got all 3 for a reason, and we're going to have all 3 for a reason. I mean, Mosley's under contract this year and next, whether we like it or not. So, we'll figure all this out, but just don't write him off already. That's all I'm trying to say.
100%. Now we're going to get into the offense here. This is where things are going to get ugly,
Yeah.
but bear with me. And the very first play here is going to be an Aaron Rodgers sack. So I want you to take a look at this protection here. Last week, against all those stunt moves against the Patriots, it seemed like the offensive line was flawless, man. Like going back over the tape with the Patriots, they were able to pick up stunts. Even against the Titans as well, they were picking up stunts. But this game, at least in particular, this play, they were not able to pick up the stunt there, and a guy was able to get free and take Rodgers out. So Rodgers was running for his life the entirety, pretty much, of the game, and that was ultimately one of the reasons why our offense was just stuck in the the rainy mud, literally, here, and we just weren't able to get the job done offensively, and obviously this is one of those plays where we have to protect Rodgers more,
Facts.
So go ahead.
I was just gonna say, on this one, who would you? Well, I guess even aside from this single play, what did you think overall of the O lines? Can you take a minute maybe and just tell me, what did you see from the O line overall? Because if you look around the fan base, and I know Twitter's a big proponent in this. There's a lot of people cooking Tyron Smith right now. A lot of people, because he's given up three sacks in 4 games. He hasn't gave up 3 all year since 2017, and we're talking September alone. So I don't know. Do you have an opinion on Tyron? And then maybe any other O-line opinions you want to share? Because I'm sure we got some other plays we're going to show the O-line on, and maybe just set it up a little bit. What do you think?
Yeah, so Tyron Smith in particular, over the first 4 games of the season, obviously he hasn't had the greatest start at left tackle for us, but to be completely honest with you, he is obviously the best tackle that we've had in a very long time, probably since the Brickashaw Ferguson at minimum. So he's allowed 3 sacks thus far over 4 games, which is kind of a lot. But I think because of the fact that if we take a good look at who we faced, I mean, dude, the 49ers defensive line is no joke. The Titans defensive line is no joke. They just whooped up on the Dolphins as well. And then the Broncos, they have a pretty good defensive line as well. So the Broncos are actually number 2 right now in defensive yards allowed. They're actually tied with us for number 2 for defensive yards allowed. So these defensive lines are no joke, man. Like they are really good. So when it comes to Tyron, I'm not really in panic mode yet for him. I think that all of the offensive linemen are doing relatively well. Now this particular game, for some reason, they weren't gelling properly for the most part. But I would take this offensive line, the game that they've had, like this offensive line is eons better than previous offensive lines that we had over the last few years, for sure.
Fair.
The one guy that I wasn't too high on bringing in this offseason was John Simpson. And I think that he's actually doing a pretty good job so far. So I'm excited to see what these guys can do throughout the entirety of the rest of the year, especially with our new help that should be coming along in Davante Adams. But I really do think that as the weeks go on and we are able to fix our personnel issues, I think that is going to magically improve our offensive line. Because gelling, and you got to think as well in terms of who we have in the backfield, and Braylon Allen and Breece Hall. We have to understand that these guys are 2 completely different players. They have 2 completely different running styles. And the reason why I think we drafted Braylon Allen is because of the fact that this offensive line, the new offensive line that we have, is more geared for Braylon and not Breece. And I think that's one of the reasons why Braylon is finding so much more success this year compared to Breece, is because this offensive line is designed for that big back to just take that one cut or no cuts, and just going going ahead and on the inside zone runs there and just putting his head down and going. Whereas Breece Hall is more of like a Le'Veon Bell type back that kind of dances around a little bit in the backfield and actually takes his time for holes to develop. So
The north
that's
and
one of the reasons
south,
why.
the north and south runner probably works better with this scheme. And I wonder
100%.
not Braylon's final year in Wisconsin, but the year prior, I think this blocking scheme was very similar to what we're running. So I don't know how long it's been since Breece ran, but maybe he can adjust. Right now, let's just lean on Allen, man. Like I bet you. What do you think if Braylon Allen got 20 carries on Sunday? What does your confidence improve in winning? I know mine shoots up way high.
So game one, I was in the boat of having Breece Hall be at 80% of the touches, and then Braylon be at around the 20% mark. And as the games went on, I was all for increasing the workload for Braylon and decreasing it, for Breece. At this point, Dano, you got to go with the hot hand. Listen, Breece is a great running back. He's one of the best running backs in the NFL. There's no denying that. There's no denying his talent. But I just think that the Jets are using him wrong. And Nathaniel Hackett is using him incorrectly. We got to go with the hot hand. We got to go with how our players are. We have to change our scheme around them, not the other way around. We cannot be trying to fit Breece Hall into the running back that his strengths are not there. You know what I mean, in terms of what we're trying to accomplish. And we're going to get into it too. Yeah. In a few plays. But man, it's like Nathaniel Hackett just cannot get out of his own way. And I understand that people are frustrated with Rodgers as well, saying that he can audible or he can check out of the play if he doesn't like it. That may be true, but you can't audible out of a player on the field. Aaron Rodgers doesn't get to decide who is out there on the field. Nathaniel Hackett's job is to put 11 guys on that field, and then Rodgers can check out of the play if he so wants to. But the big problem is you're not putting the right 11 players out there. That is the problem. You're not putting the right players for the right plays. That is what is wrong with this offense right now so far. Go ahead, Dano. You were going to say something?
Well, I was just going to say, and we all, trust me, you've heard it a million times, but first and goal on the one, and you don't bring Braylon in until the third down, which you then have as a passing play. If you know you're going to go for it, it's 4-down territory. I don't care if it is third down. I'm giving it to Allen on third. Mm-hmm. But whatever. I detour. I appreciate you taking a minute to take a beat, though. I was able to get caught up on the chat a little bit, but also I wanted your overall thoughts because, dude, we that bad. Everybody's cooking everybody right now, and we need a bigger sample size, and we need to gel a lot of pieces. A lot of new parts. We might have Moses coming back this Sunday, possibly. We might have Mosley. We'll get there. But thank God September. Just close the door on September. Put it in a box. Light that box on fire. And here we go. But you did the first play. Is this it again, or are we gonna go to play?
This is gonna be the second play here.
Okay.
This is gonna be the second play here. This is actually the Garrett Wilson fumble. And it kind of just seems like to me, I don't know how many games that we've had in the first or second drive this year that we fumbled the football, but it seems like we had 2 or 3, right? In the first or second drive, it's like we fumbled the ball or it was what was that Garrett. One play? Yeah, Breece or Garrett either fumbles it or Rodgers threw the ball and it hit Garrett and the ball popped up and it was intercepted. It's like this crap is just happening, it seems like every week in the beginning. And we're just shooting ourselves in the foot. So take a look at Garrett Wilson here. He's at the top of the screen. He's going to do a little in route, takes the ball, and he's just trying to do too much, doesn't protect the football. And he's not the biggest guy in the world. He's only like 185 pounds. So, he's not that big, but he's got to be able to protect that football and stop trying to make so many moves. I mean, you got 3 defenders around there. And as good as Garrett Wilson is, he's just trying to make too much happen, trying to, do those cuts, especially during this weather. You're not going to be making those fancy cuts that you're used to with Garrett. Right. So I would prefer him just to get the ball and just get down on the ground, man. You got the ball, secure it. You got a little bit of a gain. Just live another play. You don't have to score every single time you touch the ball, And then, so this next play here really should piss us off as well as Jets fans, because it goes back to what we were talking about. If anyone in the chat is familiar with race horsing, then you should know that there are horses that are better in the rain, and there's horses that are better, when it's not raining, right? And the same exact thing, comes to Breece Hall and Braylon Allen. They're 2 completely different backs. Breece Hall, in the rain, first of all, you should not be running him on the goal line on either side. We're on the half-yard line here, or the 1-yard line here, and we're having Breece Hall run it up the middle on this play. Like, why are we doing that? Why isn't this a Braylon Allen run? Why aren't we getting our big bruiser in there to give us some breathing room here? You know what I'm saying? So Breece Hall just was not able to do anything on that goal line on either side in the rain. And we're just using our guys wrong, man. Like, Braylon Allen should be in there all day long. He would have been able to at least get us at least a few yards to give us some breathing room,
Let me just say that series as a whole, I wanted to burn my eyes out watching, because it was horrendous. And I know everybody in the chat knows what I'm talking about, but like, when we were inside, I think the punt was like, I don't know, inside the 10, and there was 3 or 4 penalties that took us halfway back. You terrible Breece runs where he just falls down in scenarios. It was just horrible. And it was the first quarter, wasn't it?
Yeah, man. First and second quarter, like, I knew right away, like, this guy was not gonna, like, we weren't gonna get much out of him for this game. It just was not the right play calling for him. It was not the right game for him to be trying to run it up the middle. He had like 0.4 yards per carry, which has to be his worst. If I had to bet, I would say that's probably his worst yards per carry throughout his entire career, even in college. So it's just, I don't know what it is with Breece Hall, man. But the thing is that you have to go with the hot hand. I don't care if Breece Hall has been here for a couple of years and he was the man. It doesn't matter. You have to go with the hot hand. If the rookie is playing better, you have to play the rookie over the other guy. And it's the same for any other position. Any other position, if the player is playing better, they deserve that playing time. And so when Robert Saleh comes out and says, "Oh, Breece is our workhorse," like, yeah, he is our workhorse, of course. He's one of the best running backs in the NFL. But we have to get Braylon more involved. We cannot forget about him. We have to give it to the hot hand. And look, maybe in November or December or late October, Breece is playing better than Braylon, which that's fine. That can happen. But we have to give it to the hot hand. We have to be able to get whoever is producing more in that particular play or a particular game. You have to give them the ball. And this is something that the coaching staff is just not recognizing, and it's just pissing me off because I'm sitting here on my couch in the Philippines with just my computer and my cell phone, and I'm able to decipher what's going on. But you're telling me people who are making millions of dollars that are sitting there on the sidelines, who are 50 feet away from what's happening, has no idea what the hell they're doing. You know what I mean? So it's just really annoying, man.
It is.
So this next play here, Dano, is kind of like what encompasses what was completely wrong throughout the entire game as well. and that is that Rodgers was running for his life here. There's a couple of things that I want to go over this play. This is one of the reasons why I wanted to highlight this. So we're going to take a look at Rodgers here, right here behind center from the gun, and he's just not really able to find someone that's open, and he's going to have to make a run for it, and he's essentially running for his life. Now, let's go back to this real quick. This is why nobody was open, and this is why this play broke down the way it did. When I was watching this play, I felt like I was watching a play by Adam Gase. We have 3 receivers, trips left on this side of the field, and they essentially run the same exact route. Garrett Wilson right here is in the slot. He does a little slant. Then I think you have Gibson right here in the middle, and he does like a post route here. And then I think that's Alan Lazard. He does like the same exact thing. You have 3 receivers on the same field, essentially doing the same exact thing in the same exact area. This is something that you don't want.
No.
You want to be able to spread those players out, and or at the very least, you want them running different routes. So for them doing the same exact route is just completely mind-boggling to me. This is something that you do. This is one of those things that you do with like a crappy quarterback that has no idea what they're doing, cannot make reads at all, and they need essentially receivers to run the same exact route, and they're all in the same proximity of each other. Aaron Rodgers does not need that. So the fact that there was no receiver on this side of the field really pisses me off, and the fact that they were running the same route really pisses me off. And then Conklin on the bottom of the screen here is able to get open, but it was too late. Rodgers was already running for his life, and Rodgers wasn't able to get him the ball there.
And I want to give Rodgers a little bit of flowers on this, man. He was extremely lucky to not go down there and to get it away. Like that, solid scrambling there.
For sure, yeah.
Got to have a safety valve, though. If you're going to use 3 guys like that, at least space them out. You got to have one short,
Yeah, man, it was just completely infuriating. When I saw that live, I knew I was like, yeah, I gotta annotate this to be able to pick this out later when the All 22 comes out. And again, it's like one of those things that are actually worse when you see it on the All 22, because you can see exactly what's going on. Because during the game, you're not able to see all the receivers, but in the All 22, you're able to see everybody. And so this one right here, I want to highlight, and I want you to take a look at Garrett, which, he's on the bottom of the screen here. So again, Aaron Rodgers is pretty much running for his life here, but for whatever reason, Garrett Wilson is open right here, and Rodgers does not throw it to him. And you gotta ask yourself why. Maybe it's because Garrett already fumbled in the beginning of the game, and it's kind of like Rodgers was second guessing, or maybe Rodgers kind of wanted to make something happen on his own. But he got sacked there. He was trying to run. He just wasn't fast enough. Again, he's 40 years old, and he actually had some good running plays last week against the Patriots. But this defensive line is just different. They're faster than the Patriots defensive line. And again, he was Rodgers got pretty banged up. So this play right here when Rodgers should have checked it down to Garrett Wilson there. I'll play the other angle, and maybe he wouldn't have gotten the first down here, but he would have gotten really close to it at least, and it would have saved Rodgers from getting a sack and potentially getting hurt there.
Facts. And honestly, the little dump offs and stuff, it would go a long way in like invigorating Garrett Wilson. I feel like Garrett was on the high end of frustrated most of this game.
100%. So these are the last 2 plays, Dano, they're back to back. This is something that we actually talked about last week and the last tape. I actually sent you a snippet there of what we were talking about. And that is when we were on the goal line, we have Breece Hall running it up the middle 2 times back to back. This is something that we cannot allow to happen, man. Like we drafted Braylon Allen. We have Braylon Allen for a reason. If you're going to run the ball inside, it should be Braylon Allen. It should not be Breece Hall running the ball inside. Just not because Breece Hall is not a good running back. He's a fantastic running back, but because his play style is not geared for the elements and for him making the amount of cuts that he does, dancing around to get into the end zone. And so what I want you to do is I want to take a look at this angle here. I believe this is you see how he's trying to make cuts there. He's not just putting his head down and just trying to drive his way into the end zone there. And we'll take a look at it from this angle as well. But he's making cuts there instead of just putting his head down and going. The next play is even worse. You're going to see him, instead of attacking one defender, he kind of runs toward the left. So I'll stop it right here. So we have this defender right here. Everyone's essentially blocked here. You have this defender running over here. But Breece kind of cuts it out to the left. And if he cuts it out all the way to the outside, maybe he would have gotten – maybe he would have scored there possibly. Yeah, maybe go to the pylon. That's definitely a possibility. Probably would have scored. But he's dancing around, not 100% decisive, and he wasn't able to make it happen. I am 100% confident that if Braylon Allen was in this series, if you hand him the ball 4 times in a row, like he is going to score 99 times out of 100 if he had 4 opportunities there.
Dude, I've not seen the kid not fall forward at the end of a run at all yet. So I agree. I honestly think he probably gets it first try. Even all I'm saying is until I see him fall backward on a play, I got to see it to believe it.
Yeah, man. And we've been over the tape. Like we watched him with our own eyes, like what this kid can do. It's like he does not go down on the first contact, man. It's just it blows my mind.
Even if it's like a matter of like use Breece between the 20s, which I think even that's a stretch right now. But even if it is 20 and in, I'm sorry, man. Until I see the Breece of old, he lost that job.
Right.
The 20 and in role.
100%. I'm with you. I'm with you on that. Until proven otherwise, I think this is Braylon's game. Now, obviously, I want both of them in the backfield at the same time. I truly do. Especially if we have Davante Adams coming to our team. If I were the offensive coordinator of the New York Jets, my base package on offense would be obviously Aaron Rodgers at quarterback. We have our offensive line established, of course. And Braylon Allen and Breece Hall on the field at the same time in the backfield, the pony package. And then I want Davante Adams at the X spot on the left side. I want Garrett Wilson in the slot. Mm-hmm. And then I want Mike Williams and Alan Lazard rotating on that Z spot on the right side. And that's pretty much occasionally I would have a tight end in there. Maybe you only have like 2 wide receivers on the field at once. Let's say Davante and Garrett. But the goal is to put your best players on the field at one time. And right now I would have those guys, playing, of course. And again, it also goes to the strength of the defense as well. For example, if you're playing a team that has really good linebackers and kind of weak corners, then you would exploit that by having your better receivers out there, of course. But if let's say you have like really good cornerbacks, but in the middle of the field, it's kind of shaky, kind of like with the Patriots. The reason why Conklin did so good against the Patriots is their linebacking cores and that middle of the field was kind of like their weakness. They had Gonzalez there on the outside at cornerback. So, I would attack if you have a good linebacking core, then I would attack the corners. If you have, and if it's vice versa, if it's the other way around.
Fair. Dude, and the Vikings are no joke. I know we all know it, but because obviously they're 4-0, Darnold's playing fantastic. But that defense, man, they're I've seen plays I've seen plays where all 11 men are on the line of scrimmage, only 2 guys with their hands in the dirt. They're all just like crouched. Like they're gonna do unique looks, and it's very key that our blocking assignments all be on point. Again,
Yep.
if you guys haven't in the chat, if you haven't seen Joe Blewett's breakdown, I highly recommend it. I mean, you might need a brown paper sack, to breathe into, or. But dude, I mean, there's breakdowns in the blocking scheme, assignment wise, obviously, and
Right.
including Tipman, which I've been a big proponent of because dude just graded out so well through 4 games. One of the best centers in the league, top 5 in run D, I think, in run blocking, like top 1 in pass. But he even
Yeah.
does not come out of that video unscathed. So we need to be
Yeah.
on point in London. And again, hopefully Moses
Yeah,
is
they're gonna.
back. Maybe that helps.
Yeah, they're going to be blitzing probably it's going to seem like the entire game.
Yeah.
If we want to be, really effective, if I were putting my offensive coordinator hat on here, I would allow them to blitz and use Breece Hall. I'm actually in favor of using Breece Hall more this upcoming game, because I think that they're going to be blitzing like crazy, and I would implement the screen. I would use the screen passing tremendously here. Now, I don't know if Nathaniel Hackett is going to do that because I think he's like his brain is like a bag of bricks there. But if the other team is blitzing you like every play, that opens up the screen game so much. Which, oh my gosh, like Breece Hall that's his forte, is catching the ball out of the backfield and doing a check and release and going out, and going for a halfback slip screen there. So if we see more of them blitzing, which I'm sure is going to happen, I think they're like number 2 in the league in blitz rate. Then I say we should exploit that, go after the quick screen games, and be able to attack them that way. And I don't know how we're going to do it, but if we can somehow magically win this game, and we actually trade for Devontae Adams and he comes in time for the Bills game, that would be exciting. Like I would be very, very excited for that as a Jets fan.
Yeah, because I mean, a lot of people, some people, we don't need him, blah blah blah. Think about that though. Like when we're being blitzed, how many of our guys can get open on a 3-step drop less than 2 seconds?
Mm-hmm.
Got to get the ball out. Most of our guys are big, long striders, contested ball. I mean, Lazard maybe can win you some slants, but I mean, you got the greatest guy to throw a 5-yard slant, I think, of all time. But like Conklin, Mike Williams, like I said, Lazard, he's more of a strider, just big guys down the field. But if we're getting blitzed, a Joey Bosa, we need guys that can win in their breaks. And like Garrett can.
Yep.
After that, I mean, what are you going to just screen it to Breece all day? So you have Adams and Garrett that can both win at the line of scrimmage. Then it really opens up the deeper stuff later on. I just think it would really help to get Adams, and that's where I say we do need him, because even Garrett isn't winning in the 0 to 5 yard window like he used to. And then last week, Breece didn't even get any screen passes. He had 2 catches for like 14 yards. Man, he's not going to reestablish his confidence if you don't screen it to him. And last week we did not.
Right.
We didn't. So just being wise, being smart.
It's one of those things, like going back to what I was talking about with Breece's play style. Like this dude is basically Le'Veon Bell. Like if you look at Le'Veon Bell's gameplay, Breece Hall is pretty much the same exact player, even like down to the metrics. And what did the Steelers do with Le'Veon Bell a lot? They ran the freaking screenplay so much. Like that was like their bread and butter with Le'Veon Bell is the screenplay and the passing game. If we want Brees Hall as effective as possible, that's how we need to utilize him. Not running the ball up the freaking middle with him. That's not his forte. That's not his game. We have Braylon for that. Let's finally understand that. Let's utilize Brees Hall on the outside running game, the stretch plays, and obviously getting his hands on the football and the screen plays and the check downs.
It's so disheartening to see the Lions the other day and how well they operate their running back room.
Right.
I fail to see them pounding it with Gibbs at the goal line, pounding it with Gibbs on their own one. Actually, I think at one point it was on our own 1 foot line. They're gonna put Montgomery in there to put his helmet in between the elbows of the center and the guard. I just wish Hackett would watch the Lions and adopt their running division of labor, because then you ride the hot hand. When it gets hot, you ride it. Frustrating.
Yeah, 100%. And the one comment by One Jets Pod right here, Sal already said nothing will change. Man, like this guy, I don't know what it is, man, but it's like.
Do you think he means that though? Do you think he's just saying that because he doesn't know how to conduct himself in an interview, or do you think behind closed doors he's not yelling? I don't know. I'm asking, but do you think that?
Yeah, I don't fully know either, but what I do know is I don't really trust anything Salah says, to be honest.
Yeah.
Because every time he opens his mouth, especially when it comes to injuries, it's like, if he says somebody is probably coming back in a week or two, it's almost like clockwork. They're out for 6 weeks or more, or they're out for the season.
Facts.
Which is I understand you want to do the coach speak type stuff, but the penalties, which we didn't even talk about, by the way, having 15 penalties this game, it is 100% on coaching, man. And it seems like this is a theme for Robert Saleh, and it's he said 3 years ago that the penalties need to be fixed, and it's we're still talking about the freaking penalties. The penalties are still happening. Brees Hall, false start 2 times.
Dude, I don't get that.
How is that even a thing? I've never in my life seen a running back have 2 false starts in a game ever in my life. This is Pee-wee type stuff here. Little kids, 10-year-olds know better to not do that multiple times in a game. And you have NFL players doing that crap. And this game is at home. It's a home game.
Yeah.
Which means the crowd isn't even that loud.
Yeah.
This.
And we had 3 days extra compared to our opponent.
Right. Yeah. This is I'm really hoping, man, that we can overcome these things. And again, it seems like I'm kind of panicking here, but I just want to reiterate that these are the types of things that are going to keep you from winning football games, especially in the playoffs. If you go into the playoffs with coaching like this, you are going to get your butt whooped. You are going to get destroyed. You're going to, if you are not up to snuff in the coaching and game planning and adjusting, you're done for. If you're not keeping your players accountable, you're done for.
Yep.
So as soon as Brees Hall, or not just necessarily Brees Hall, but as soon as anyone on the football team has multiple boneheaded mistakes, you're done. Get off the field. Maybe next game you can play, or maybe in the second half, but you're done. We're not playing that crap anymore. During the summertime, it seemed like they were being accountable. If they had a false start or whatever, Salah, I think he would pull them out, right, for a few plays. And it's where the hell was that accountability during the game? Why the hell are we practicing that? But during the games, it's fine. It's all right.
Yep.
So that's what really pissed me off.
And again, we do want to state these are September problems. I have no doubt will be a sharp knife in December, but the idea is how far do you put yourself behind the 8 ball if this continues through October? Like, because,
Right.
dude, this place can get toxic fast. Like, we saw an epic win week 3. We saw a disaster week 4, and I know at least the fan base was on fire. The mattresses were on fire. So, like, and the schedule does not get easy in December. So you don't want to be going into December, going into our bye week,
Right.
which I thought we would be 8-3, which is still possible.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't want to be going into our bye week at 5-6. Like, you can't.
No,
you can't.
that can't happen.
Right.
That cannot happen.
Right. So, like, how quick it's timing. It's not us not wondering whether they can fix it at all, which would be a worse problem. It's not us wondering if there's enough talent to win in January. That's not a problem either. It's more so about how quickly we can wipe our ass. with lack of a better term, like, clean it up, and don't lose too many figuring it out. Like, that's why I love the Tennessee game. We were able to take a step forward, clean up some of it in a win. You know what I mean? Make strides, but like, make strides and win. It doesn't have to be pretty, but like, don't go backwards and lose. Like, we can't have any more of those. Can't.
Yeah, 100%. I agree. These next 3 games, Dano, are going to tell us all we need to know about this team going forward in the rest of the season. The reason why I say that is because, I mean, we're playing Sam Darnold and the Vikings in London this Sunday. We all know how Sam Darnold is doing this year. He's one of the leading quarterbacks in yards and touchdown passes, right? So he's playing lights out right now, and the coaches between those 3 teams that I mentioned are pretty freaking good. So, you know, this is going to be a real big test for Saleh and Hackett to see if they can hack it in the playoffs, right? So, no pun intended. But yeah, we need to see from this coaching staff if there's going to be improvement, because I'm telling you right now, if we go out there in London and have the same coaching mistakes that we've had this past Sunday, or if we play against the Bills next week and we do the same thing, and against Mike Tomlin and the Steelers and we do the same thing, dude, I'm telling you right now, man, like, I might be hitting that panic button and see, you know, what we can do to salvage the season. Because if we go out there and lose all 3 games or 2 of the next 3 games, that's not a good look for Saleh. It's not.
And things can snowball fast. They can. But here's the thing too. Like, if you say you're weak at adapting on the fly, which I think most of us will say, this coaching staff is kind of weak. Maybe not on D, but on offense, adapting on the fly, we're a little weak. That's fine. Come in with a bulletproof game plan then. Right. Have, whether you got to script more of it, whatever you want to do, just come in prepared. That way you don't have to adapt as much, or you can build a slight lead. But you can't come in with a poor game plan, which, come on, poor game plan last week.
Right.
And fail to adapt throughout the course of a game. That's a recipe for law. So, like, I'm not sure that we can adapt on the fly versus the next 3 coaching staffs, like you mentioned. Very good coaching staffs. At least come in prepared, good game plan, have all your film digested, fleshed out, and start hot. If you can't adapt down the stretch, start hot. Give me one or the other right now. Later, we can worry about getting both. Give me one or the other.
Yeah, 100%, man. Like, we've been talking for so long over the last couple of years. Like, most Jets fans were anticipating that you know, we're going to be a good football team, and these next 3 games, it's either put up or shut up time. If we perform well in these next 3 games, then I'm still riding that train, and we're looking really good going into the playoffs. But if we play these next 3 games and we just look like crap, and we're not, our coaching staff is not being able to get the job done, then I don't know what we're gonna do, Dano. But I'm hoping that we're able to do what we got to do and win at least 2 of the next 3.
Facts. And like you said, we didn't highlight the penalties. Just clean that up. Like, you can't have all of it together. You're not even giving yourself a chance. And a lot of that will get better, but I think that's about all we have for you, gang. I appreciate everyone in the chat. We could literally harp on last week for another hour, but I think we're all over it. Can we just put it, like I said, in a box labeled September? It's over. We're 2-2, and move forward, man. It's a new month, and we're playing in a different country. We're getting Minnesota out of their element, which is what we kind of needed, because let's face it, in their element, they were hot. You take them overseas, maybe it gives us a chance to kind of wipe the slate. We were not hot. Now we're going out of our element. Maybe that's a recipe for just, I don't know, neutral everything, Let's go back to the drawing board. Hopefully Roger's knees are okay after being on a long flight, heading over there later than usual, like a Thursday fly out, whatever. But dude, give me Mosley back. Give me Moses. Give me all my pieces. Maybe Adams later on, but let's go. Yeah. Neutral site. Shitty ass field though. Like, we're playing on concrete basically. Let's come out of it unscathed. But let's be respectable. That's all I want, dude. I don't know how many of us think we're going to win this game, but let's be respectable. Let's have a performance that's worthy of some of our talent that we have just oozing off of this roster.
Yeah, man.
Would you agree with that?
You know what? 100%. Yeah. I agree with that. But the thing that pisses me off the most is that we've had 4 games so far, right? And it seems like 2.5 games or 3 games were like subpar, like really subpar in terms of the standards that we have been talking about that we're going to be at. And I think that is why we're so frustrated as Jets fans. Is like we've waited so long. Out of 4 games, 2.5 games, 3 games were just so substandard. We beat up on the Patriots, who were trash, by the way.
I think we've played 5 quarters out of 16, in my opinion. Tennessee, and we played a quarter.
That's fair.
We played New England, and the rest of it's been trash.
Yeah, that's fair, because it took us a whole half to wake up against the Titans. Yep. It's not looking good. It's not looking good. We've been playing subpar a hell of a lot more than we've been playing good football. So we're going up against the Vikings this Sunday. It's going to be an early morning day. I think what a kickoff is 9:30 a.m. Eastern time. And so, I'm telling you right now, if fans are waking up at 9, going to be watching the game at 9:30 a.m. and we're stinking up the game there, it's not going to be a good look. And I'll tell you right now, if that's the case, I don't give a damn if you bring Davante Adams in here. You cannot overcome you're not going to be able to overcome the coaching stuff in the playoffs. You have to have good coaching in the playoffs. That you must have it. So let's hope that Sam Darnold is seeing ghosts on Sunday, and let's hope somehow we win this football game.
I love it, dude. Hey, Mike, I appreciate you, man. This is episode 4. We're wrapping up, and check us out next week, right? And it should be some pristine film, right?
Yeah. We'll see. Hope so. We got Gunny over here talking about fire sale.
Yeah. He said fire sale, and the chat erupted. They're like, "What? Fire sale? No, fire sala. Right. Fire sala." What's the difference in H makes?
Yeah, right. Our wagon is hitched right now, but yeah, I think we can somehow win this game. listen, any given Sunday, it can happen. We were slated to blow out the Broncos. Obviously, that didn't happen. So if we're like 3 points underdogs or something like that, I can't remember what it was. I haven't checked it in a little bit, but look, anything can happen. Like you said, it's a neutral area. It's in London, and I'm pretty sure going back to previous games that we played in London, I'm almost positive that there were more Jets fans than there were the other team. So I'm hoping that we have more Jets fans there. We'll see what happens, but yeah, I'm excited for this game, and hopefully we win.
Minnesota -2.5 is what FanDuel shows, so about a field goal. And I did hear and see that Jet fans really turned out for this game, so I love to see that.
Good.
Love to see that. Anyone who you guys know me, you know that I'm going to the Steeler game. Let's see if we can't have Devontae Adams for that one, okay? But for now, we have enough. We have enough talent to win. It's more than that, though. But, dude, appreciate your time, Mike, again. We'll see you next week. All right, man?
Absolutely. All right. Thanks, brother. Take care.
Yep. Later.